Hello everybody and welcome to Bite Size Biology, and today we are going to look at the lymphatic system. So the lymphatic system is a very small chapter and it hasn't come up that much in exams really. But students often don't like it because, well, first, they've never heard about it before, that's the main one, and two, they can find it a little bit dense, complicated. Okay, but it's actually okay, especially for past marking schemes. Anyhow, so look, this is what you need to know. You need to be able to draw and label diagram of the lymphatic system. I'm not sure why that was cut out there. You also need to be able to describe it, okay, in a sentence format. You need to be able to state the functions of them, 3 of them to be precise. Difference between artery or between veins and lymph vessel, link it to the circulatory system, and you also need to state the differences between lymph and blood. And that's it. Okay, a lot of it's just is short, tidy questions. So look, we'll have a look at the first question there. 2014 was the last time this appeared as a full question at least. So the diagram shows a region of tissue in which include body cells and parts of the circulatory system and lymphatic systems. You're asked to label part C. So C here is your lymph vessel. Now, how did I know that was the lymph vessel? Well, 2 reasons. Okay, generally, you've got your direction of the blood flow there, so that has to be, like what's transferring blood has to be the arteries because it's going in this direction, and then it's leaving this way, so that's got to be the veins. Okay, and usually arteries and veins on the lymphatic system are opposite ends of each other, and the lymphatic system, the lymph vessels, are in the middle. Okay, perpendicular to it, and which is hoovering up the tissue fluid and so forth, which we'll talk about in a second. So, what type of blood vessel is A? You could have said an artery or an arteriole. Technically, arteriole is the better answer to say, but either or is acceptable. C. If a transverse section of A, that's your artery, were viewed under the microscope, state one way which it would differ to B. Well, valves are the key ones there, really. Okay, A, arteries have no valves, B will have valves. That's something that veins and lymph vessels have in common. Both of them have valves. Valves only have one function, to stop the backflow of something. So tissue fluid, lymph for lymph vessels, and blood for veins. 2 functions in the lymphatic system, well, you should know at least 3. First one, the lymph nodes, they filter bacteria, which is a part of the lymph vessels. They fight infections, okay, by your lymphocytes, which there's an obvious link there to the human defense system, and they return tissue fluid to the blood. So basically what's happening here, guys, just to explain the lymphatic system in a nutshell, okay, as A is giving blood into the arteries, oxygenated blood into the cells, okay, blood is leaking out. Now, not specifically blood, like the red blood cells can't leak out because they're too big, okay, but plasma, okay, can leak out in your capillaries. Okay, now that's no good. Okay, that needs to be that, like everything, all our liquids need to be inside either arteries, veins, and capillaries. And to be fair, the capillaries will reabsorb most of the plasma that escapes out of the capillaries, so that's fine. But not all of it will Not all of it will go back into the capillaries. What happens there is your lymph vessels, like a hoover. It's going to suck up the remainder of the lymph, the tissue fluid, I should say. Okay, so that's your plasma and a few nutrients and so forth. Okay, into the lymph vessel. Now, as soon as the tissue fluid enters the lymph vessel, we now refer to it as lymph. Okay, so I'll repeat that again. As blood, oxygenated blood, is going from the arteries into the blood vessels, the capillaries, and then into the body cells, there is a huge pressure on it. And that pressure of blood, okay, causes tissue fluid, which consists of nutrients and plasma, to leak out of the capillaries. Okay, and just be there. Okay, the capillaries will reabsorb most of that tissue fluid. but not all of it will be reabsorbed. So the lymphatic system, the lymph vessel, will hoover it up. Okay, will suck up any excess tissue fluid, and as soon as it sucks it up, okay, it's now referred to as lymph. So it returns tissue fluid to the blood. So that's what it's going to do. It's going to return the tissue fluid to the blood. Give one way in which lymph differs from blood. Lymph has no red blood cells. They're too big, okay, whereas blood has red blood cells. Name a blood vessel, a major blood vessel now, emphasis on the word major, okay, that returns the blood in B to the heart. Well, in that case there can only be one answer, and that's your vena cava. 2006. Describe structured lymphatic system and give an account of 3 functions. Okay, so this is where you're asked to describe us in terms of a written format. So the lymphatic system is a one-way system consisting of lymph vessels and lymph nodes. That was all you had to say. And the functions, well, we've seen that already: filter bacteria, fight infections, return tissue fluid to the blood. And I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. So it hasn't come up since 2014. It might have come up as maybe a 3-mark or 3-mark question somewhere along the lines. Okay, I'm not sure. But as a full question anyhow, it's been a while. You could still be asked to draw a label diagram of the lymphatic system, even though you haven't been asked. You were asked to label this instead, but just to be aware of that. Okay guys, look, I hope you took something from that, and best of luck with your studies.